Okay, so you're probably one of two people. You either own an SM7B or you don't. And I am one of the latter. That's right. I have an audio channel and I do not own a Shure SM7B or the newly released SM7dB for that matter. And by the end of this video, I want you SM7B owners to convince me what I've been missing out on. And for those of you who don't own an SM7B, maybe you will be reassured in your a strong stance not to succumb to peer pressure. Okay, so here are all the reasons why I don't own an SM7B. First up, I don't want a microphone in my face. And that's for a couple different reasons. When I'm making YouTube content like this, I don't want there to be some kind of barrier between you and I. And I like my videos to have that feeling of us having a conversation. And nothing doesn't feel like a conversation more than having a giant microphone in your face. But second, sometimes subconsciously when you have something like a mic close to you that you're speaking into, you lose that kind of casual feeling that you're talking with a friend, and instead it's obvious that you are standing there talking to a microphone. You know, we've all seen that. You've watched plenty of YouTube videos where people speak into an SM7B and all of a sudden they have their radio voice on. And I, for one of my videos, like to have this be more of a conversation where we're hanging out and much less like I am talking at you. So right now I'm using a condenser microphone. I'm using the shotgun, which is just out of frame here. And that allows me really to get that microphone out of the shot because I talk with my hands. And when you have a microphone that is close to you, even if it's top boomed or if it's to the side, I like to gesticulate. And so it would be annoying for both you and I if I was constantly hitting a microphone or a mic arm or a boom arm or anything like that, and then having to, I don't know, like cut out that clip over and over and over again, or just sit here and try to do a whole video like this. That's kind of boring, right? But inherently, that's one of the drawbacks of having to use a dynamic mic like the SM7B. You pretty much have to get right up on it in order to get a decent signal. And then you sound like you are doing a podcast or on the radio, or you sound like everyone else on YouTube who is also using an SM7B. And while some people find that pleasing to listen to for an extended amount of time, and I understand that because listening fatigue is a real thing, it gives your voice that pseudo-artificial broadcast sound. And in my almost 8 years of being a professional full-time voice actor, one of the things that I really appreciate is being able to capture high-quality audio in great detail, meaning that none of the lower frequencies of my voice are boosted, that a microphone is able to pick up a pretty neutral and flat recording of how I sound in real life, so that it can be EQ'd pretty cleanly later, as opposed to recording into something like an SM7B, which for me personally would make my voice sound super bass heavy, almost to the point of muddiness. And for me, I want to be as clear and transparent for you as possible. And ultimately, this really boils down to me not wanting to be like everyone else on YouTube. You know, I get it. When there is a popular piece of equipment that everyone uses, there's a trickle-down effect, right? Where large creators might be using them, and then mid-sized creators, and then smaller creators, then before you know it, everyone is using them. And when you're talking about something like the SM7B that has a distinct sound signature, after a while, everyone starts to sound the same. So much so that tools like Adobe Speech Enhance clean up audio to sound more like an SM7B. And when we all start to sound the same and look the same and create the same content, it starts to feel less like YouTube and more like UsTube. And ultimately, like fingerprints, we are all differentiated by our voices. And so I like to celebrate individuality. And really, in my opinion, that's what makes your channel so great, because it is you, your voice, your thoughts, your ideas, how you articulate them. And I'm not just listening to another podcast. But don't get me wrong, I see the benefits of using a microphone like the Shure SM7B or the new SM7dB. Yes, if you are recording in a less than ideal environment, a dynamic mic would probably serve you better than a large diaphragm condenser. A dynamic mic doesn't require phantom power, so It's easier to make sure you don't have to invest in equipment that needs to provide that. The SM7B gives you that look. And not to be glib about that, but it matters, right? Subconsciously, when a viewer sees that you are speaking into something, a recognizable microphone like an SM7B, whether it's right or not, in some viewers' minds, it will give you credibility as a content creator or put more weight behind what you have to say because their perception is this person is much more professional than someone using some other mic that they've never seen before. So I get that. I get why people like the SM7B. And depending on the tone and timbre of your specific voice, you might sound really great on an SM7B. Honestly, I've been doing voiceover work full-time for a number of years. I have recorded thousands and thousands and thousands of professional recordings, and not once have I ever used an SM7B in that workflow. But I am not a closed-minded individual. And so if you have some kind of compelling reason why the SM7B is a must-have for your mic locker, definitely leave them down in the comments below. And while you're at it, let me know if you are team condenser mic or team dynamic mic. Because truth be told, I do not think that I have made any videos on my channel with a dynamic mic. So if that's something you'd like to see, let me know. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk again real soon.